What's up, weirdos? Family vlogging is one of the biggest industries on the internet. And on the surface, the branding of it is like, it's just cute home movies. You get a peek into this family, into this childhood. Ostensibly, that should be like a very wholesome type of content. But because it is such a huge industry, there's also so much revenue potential. And when the stars of the content are children, and the children are the money makers, the parents have a shift in their role in the child's life from being a parent to being a producer, which on its own already completely messes up the child's relationship. But because there's so much money involved and the parents are in producer mindset and they start getting money, they start getting fame, they start getting clout, and the vehicle for all of that is their own child, many parents fall down a pit of exploiting their own child in predatory ways. And I've made a lot of videos before about family vloggers, but today I want to do a really deep dive and get into the psychology of what's actually going on. Look at some specific case studies. The first and most egregious example is Jordan Matter, but you've also got the LeBrants, you've got the Binghams, you've got the Ace family, Nika Diwa, and many more. But the things that I'm going to be diving into that I find the most exploitative and predatory, first of all, are the sexualization and the romance pushing onto like actual little children. But then I also want to get into the monetization of pain and medical issue content, and then the specific type of family vlogging content that's kind of like I don't want to, like, poverty porn, like, I don't know, pity fishing, but specifically the type of content that makes the kids look like they're in really bad shape, so the audience feels guilty and they feel like they have to support. That's one specific thing. But then after that, finally, I want to get into the manipulative side of things and like the moral panic that gets pushed, and there's like a real world spillover into the child's actual life that has to be accounted for. But all of that is to come. Let's get into the first part, the sexualization and the pushing of romance on little kids. Jordan Matter has 32 million subscribers. He is beyond wealthy. And the way that he got all that is by, in my opinion, sexualizing and putting very creepy frameworks on his very young daughter. He's a photographer, and his start on YouTube, if we can look here at his oldest videos, is, you know, early YouTube stuff, just posting dude in a suit hitting a whoa, fully dressed man doing a big jump, construction worker doing a cool pose. None of them are really hitting. But then he got his first hit, which is of a little girl doing a split with her legs like that. And by the way, there's nothing like inherently wrong with that. Of course, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. Gymnastics is fun and everybody should be allowed to engage with it. But then you'll notice that the next videos he posted all have something in common. Yeah, it's just still going. Yes, there are more, and I'm still talking because there are more. Actually, I have to stop showing you them because there's so many, and I can't even possibly begin to show you all the videos that he has posted where it's just thumbnails of girls just doing flexible positions, and they're all getting a lot of views. And I don't think that it's an accident. I think that he noticed something and he continued to lean into that, and he's incredibly successful. I mean, literally, if I'm just scrolling right here, it's all girls who are like not adult. I mean, some of them are adults. Okay, Jordan, there are a couple who are adults, but 90% of them are children doing these things, and I don't think that that is an accident. I think that he knows what he's doing. Like Neolithic stupid. We all know what he's doing. We all know. But then it gets real twisted because then his daughter, Salish, became the star of his channel. And if we look at the videos that he has been posting that are his most popular, you will notice another recurring theme. This one specifically actually isn't his daughter, but that makes it even weirder because it's just two kids with a thumbnail. First kiss, JT and Eliana. They are like 9. Title, Dance Moms Eliana Walmsley's first kiss with JT Church. Adorable. Bro, you gotta come over to the crib. We're watching some 11-year-olds recreate iconic poses and kiss for the first time. Look at this dude.
JT and Eliana are gonna dare each other. Eliana is going first, so she's gonna have to do the dares. JT's giving her the dares. Whatever he says, we have to do it, but we also have to get a cool dance pose. At the end, you get to vote who gave the best dare, so stick around.
Hey, I've got 2 elementary school age kids, and we're playing Truth or Dare. They have to do whatever the one says, and then we're gonna take some dance photos. So if there's any freaks in the chat, because that is the entirety of the people who subscribe to that, if there's any freaks in the chat, trust me, we're gonna get that thumbnail post coming up soon, and the first kiss will be happening. This is a photo that they are recreating, and look at how he says it to these little children.
You're the sailor, okay? So you're here, right? And you're saying goodbye to her for one last time, and then she's dipping back and you're giving her one kiss.
First of all, I'm not making any accusations or anything in this video. I'm literally just showing it. How is this even like allowed? Somebody needs to review this, and like he needs to be banned or something. Because why is this man with these 2 kids? By the way, they consented, their parents consented. Sure. Okay, you know what? Take out the quotation marks. Sure. You are with 2 elementary school kids, you're going, okay, so basically, to recreate this kiss, you're the sailor, you're giving her a dip, and then you give her a kiss. You are talking to an elementary school kid. Bro, what are you doing? You are in a subway station with a camera, and you're like, yeah, basically we're doing this. Mom, you good with this? Mom, you good with this? Kids, you good with this? By the way, you're all here, you're all on set. This is gonna be an opportunity for a big break. I've got a lot of subscribers on my channel. There's no pressure implicit on your elementary school aged minds in this situation. There's no pressure at all. Your parents are just pushing for this because they want you to be successful and famous and get them money, and I'm pushing for it because I want to get successful and famous and money. Come on, elementary school kids, kiss. I hate this guy. I hate him so much. By the way, blur in when they kiss, because even though it's like fully fine, I guess, I don't want to show this. They're like uncomfortable, they don't do it because it's their first kiss. But like the premise of this video, their first kiss, and Jordan Matter's sitting there like, this is great content, come on kids, kiss. And you're like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. It's never like a moment that was like genuine that they had. It was a moment where it's like, what was your first kiss? Oh, I was in this YouTube video in a subway when I was like 9, and this really fucking creepy looking guy was like telling me I had to kiss her because a sailor did in the 60s. And they end up doing it, and like it's a slow-mo shot. No. So objectively not okay. It's like, there's no part of it that's, I don't know how this didn't blow up into like a gigantic thing. That's one video. Bro's entire account is stuff like this. So now let's get into his daughter. Look, he posted this 2 weeks ago. This guy holding his daughter. Obviously they're both underage. Are they dating? Or this one, 24-hour amusement park challenge. Instagram controls. And the thumbnail says, kiss on cheek, scary ride. Instagram gets to control if they kiss each other. Oh yeah, so that's your daughter and another kid who's a minor. They're just children. Instagram controls. The internet picks if my girl gets kissed. Sorry if you can hear venom in my voice for this guy. I hate this dude. 2 months ago, my daughter's secret crush. Recreating viral couples photos, acrobat versus gymnast. With the thumbnail, don't ship them. You are playing into people literally doing real life like shipping and like stuff that is weird and very uncomfortable and impossible to deal with emotionally, even as an adult, because our little monkey minds don't even understand what Instagram be. Like, it's hard for a 30-year-old person on set of a television show to deal with getting shipped with like a castmate, and there's like stuff that breaks up. I know you heard about Outer Banks. And he's incentivizing that and putting that into the YouTube videos that he's putting with his young child. But he has a son also. He's just not featured as much because he doesn't get as many clicks as his little girl. Okay, Jordan. But look at this one. My son's first kiss. Sweet. They're so young. Look at this moment right here from that first kiss video. He's watching while handcuffing these two kids together, and he's feeding her pizza. Oh, very not creepy, very not creepy. Oh yeah, put your leg in the air, little girl. Great, that's gonna be great for the thumbnail pic, because my videos actually for some reason do a lot better when little girls are like stretching and spreading. You should be in hell. Look at what he does in his video. Again. All I'm doing is showing the clips, and like, this is like the only honest human reaction to seeing what's going on here. Look at another segment that he's orchestrated for this video. How is this allowed?
And for your next challenge, you have to recreate the famous scene from The Lady and the Tramp.
Genuinely, you should be in hell. So Instagram's controlling my young child's date. Huh, I wonder if anonymous people on the internet want my son to kiss this girl. They are both little kids. I wonder if they're gonna say yes. Guys, I didn't do it. Instagram did it. You guys literally did it. It's not me. Instagram did it. Oh my God, I hate you. You think sick freaks aren't watching this? Jordan, you are making content almost exclusively for them. Who wants to go watch elementary school kids kissing? Let's just look at the most popular videos that he's posted on his channel. There's a theme of kids acting like adults, which I think is very obvious what the bad part about that is. Kids turn 21 years old, bad idea. Kids become parents for a day, very funny. My daughter turns 21 years old. It's just like, hey, let's take this little kid and put them in an adult situation. Also, if you want to see them kiss, I've got like 12 videos of that. If you want to see them holding each other and doing crazy flexible things on camera and any kind of outfit you want to see. I got plenty of videos of that. Just give me views, give me money, give me money, give me money, give me money. But maybe the most insane of all of them, and I can't believe that there's something more insane than all of the ones we've already shown, is this. My daughter switches lives with Rebecca Zamolo for 24 hours. Hey, you want to see my little, like, 9-year-old daughter look pregnant? That's the premise you're putting out there? Matter of fact, let's look into that video for just a second. But first, I want to show probably the most gorgeous man of all time, the mastermind behind this whole thing.
She's growing up too fast.
She's growing up too fast. You are the creepiest person and you are exploiting your daughter in predatory ways. That's just my opinion based on the very, 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 very creepy things you're doing to her. But this is just a peek into the average Jordan Matter video. Look at what he says.
I really hope that Salish wins this contest because Nadal is not her crush. They're not crushing, they're not shipping. It's nothing but friendship, okay? Next round, vlogging like Rebecca.
Hey there, fam! It's Rebecca, and so I'm being really loud!
I'm assuming that there are some, because these are getting like 30 million views, I'm assuming there are some people who aren't, you know, freaks who are watching this. Like, I'm sure if you are doing that, can you like check yourself into some like psychological evaluation to see if everything's going okay? Because there might be like a brain, like there might be something that needs to be addressed medically. My daughter is not crushing on Nadal. That is not happening, and I do not want that narrative going on. 100 thumbnails putting my daughter in a situation where she has to kiss this freak. What? In real life? What are you thinking? This girl is this big. She's tiny. She's a little girl. It's like child. Okay, what has to happen? Oh, you get a little bit of money when you see like a little girl, you know, doing a flexible thing. I feel weird even describing what he's doing, profiting millions of dollars off of. That's why he does it, because there's millions of dollars at stake. Now, okay, we're just looking at that, but I want to do like a really, really deep dive and get into it in a lot of ways so we can really understand what's going on. So I've done more research, and as I'm talking about some of the studies and research that I found about this specific area of the topic, remember, there's like multiple more topics that we're going to get into. I also am probably going to show like some other examples of other family vloggers, but I think I'm going to go ahead and start, and like the analysis that I'm about to like talk about is coming from the perspective that he is sexualizing his little daughter and his son. He is. In my opinion, I think that that is what he's doing. He can have a defense for it. He can say, no, it's innocent, whatever. Come on. This is a report by the APA, the American Psychological Association. I dug deep. And this is their report of the task force on the sexualization of girls. And they define several components as, obviously, as you grow, there's like a healthy component towards sexuality, obviously, but they have a definition where they say there are several components to sexualization, and these set it apart from healthy sexuality. And that the unhealthy version of sexualization occurs when a person's value comes only from his or her sexual appeal or behavior to the exclusion of other characteristics. A person is held to a standard that equates physical attractiveness, narrowly defined, with being sexy. A person is sexually objectified, that is, made into a thing for others' sexual use rather than seen as a person with the capacity for independent action and decision making, and or sexuality is inappropriately imposed upon a person. Okay, I think that for 100% sure, it has been completely inappropriately imposed by Jordan Matter on these little kids. Absolutely. You want to argue that what he is doing is not sexually suggestive, then I think that you can argue with a brick wall, because that does not make any goddamn sense for what we're looking at. And the counter argument could be, well, she has all these other characteristics that are being shown. Well, all of the other characteristics that are being shown are in the context of those characteristics being in a little girl. And that's what's making it so fucked up. No, it's not just that she's like stretching and kissing. I feel so weird saying it. It's not just that she's doing that though. It's also that she's so funny and like innocent and joking around. Yeah, that's feeding into the fantasy of the creeps who are watching this awful, heinous shit. The American Psychological Association goes on to say, anyone, girls, boys, men, women, can be sexualized, but when children are imbued with adult sexuality, it is often imposed upon them rather than chosen by them. I don't know. Putting your little girl into a thumbnail where she is pregnant? What does that imply, Jordan? Oh, but they just switched lives for a day. Okay, and you're also doing crush content, them as a 21-year-old, them as an adult. There's no way that pregnancy is not an imbued sense of adult sexuality. There is just no way that it's not. And before I move on to my other supporting research, I just want to say, in this report, they said, we offer several examples of the sexualization of girls to clarify our definition. And I just want to see, do any of these line up with what Jordan Matter's doing? Imagine a 5-year-old girl walking through a mall wearing a short t-shirt that says, flirt. Envision a soccer soccer team of adolescent girls whose sex appeal is emphasized by their coach or a local journalist to attract fans. You think he's not emphasizing it with what he's doing in the thumbnails and titles to attract fans? By the way, to exploit her in that way for his own money and fame, but it's for her. For this one, think of print advertisements that portray women as little girls with pigtails and ruffles and adult sexual poses. Or think about Jordan Matter, who actually portrays actual children in adult poses, like recreating adults kissing. That's not the perfect definition based on this. He could literally be in the American Psychological Association's definitions for sexualizing children for many instances on his channel. This is heinous stuff. By the way, at this point, I'd like to say it's not just Jordan Matter. This is not just a specific person. This is a systemic thing. Look at the Ace family right here. Elle goes on her first date. Guess with who? Austin's sitting there mad. You planned this! Okay, Austin, I made a video about him and I'll show a couple shots of that, but this is another one they did. This boy asked Elle on a date. Austin freaked out. Okay, he also famously did this, which I showed in the video I made about him. They are in an adult section of a store. They're in, like, adult is what adult.
What'd you say? What are you trying to get to?
Lollipops.
You love what?
You love lollipops?
Oh, God. You don't need that. Come here.
Mommy, Dad.
Show Catherine what you have in your hand. Show Catherine. Show her. She said it's a lollipop.
Like, it's blurred so you can't see it, but there's a part when she's like licking at the lollipop and he's laughing. That's the part when it's like the whole full, yeah. So to be fair, Jordan Matter, it does get worse. Also, there's another channel called April and Davey that I found in my research. They're not super big, they got 630,000 subscribers, but they have a video titled Kids React to Mom's Swimsuit. And if you click the video, let me show you the first like 6-7 seconds.
Oh, that old thing?
Is that your face?
Or you've got this other family vlogging channel, The Mighty McClures, and they've got stuff like Kids React to Mom's Outfit, or Kids React to Mom's Winter Outfits. Or this one, which I fully have to blur what's shown on the video because it's a girl like from behind. She looks like she's like 5 or 6 years old and she's like dancing. She's got like a short like skirt on. The Mighty McClures might need to be in maximum security prison. By the way, if you are making videos where it's like, my kids rate my outfits and it's just you like posing, trying to be like a baddie, you also need to go to like a psychological evaluation to see if everything's okay because, oh my God, your ego. Get out of here. But it's especially the Jordan Matter stuff because he is putting his own child specifically as the object of he's objectifying his daughter. And there's a few things I read. This one is the objectification theory toward understanding women's lived experiences and mental health risks. Yeah, I was spending a little time reading objectification theory, trying to understand women's lived experiences. No, but like for research for this video, like I am trying to understand this. And in that research study, as well as this research study from the BMC Public Health, which is more specifically about the adolescents, the digital self-presentation and adolescent mental health, cross-sectional and longitudinal insights from the Life on So Me study, as well as this one, which was published like a couple weeks before it, but they really build off of each other. Mirror, mirror on my screen, focus on self-presentation on social media is associated with perfectionism and disordered eating among adolescents. Results from the Life on So Me study. Basically, Jordan Matter and a lot of these other people, but like specifically we're talking a lot about him. With what he's doing to his daughter, these studies talk about how when a child is presented publicly in a way that emphasizes her physical appearance, especially in a sexualized or glamorized way, and there is incentive behind that and the social pressure, like not social, parental pressure, where she's performing for him, but also for this audience that is like consuming it by the tens of millions, that it invariably increases that child's focus on self-presentation, self-objectification, and like social comparison in a way that in this research, in these studies, is strongly linked to increased anxiety, depression, eating disorders, lower well-being, like of life, as well as perfectionism, increased shame. So it's not just creepy because of what he's doing and the impact that it's like having on his relationship or what he's doing by exploiting her for the types of people who are interested in that type of content. It's not even just that, but more broadly than that, he's ruining his daughter's life and his son's life. But like he's really, really ruining his daughter's life because she's the main subject of all these. And yeah, they're rich, but would you rather be rich or be happy? The answer to that for most people is like, rich! But in this case, like at this cost of exploiting your child in such a predatory way, because it's like he is a parent but then he's become the producer, but the production that he is doing to his daughter is predatory. By the way, if he's doing all of this unintentionally, he is the worst, like, accidental freaking creep. Like, if this is happening, like, by accident, oh my God, Jordan Matter, I'm so glad that you're watching this video right now. Hopefully this is a come to Jesus moment. But if you are watching this video and you continue to do what you are doing, you are invariably ruining your daughter's life. Maybe not ruining, just making it a whole lot shittier than it would be if you were just a loving dad. And the thing that pisses me off is it's not like he was doing this like ages ago and then people called him out and he realized. He's been written about in like university newspapers. By the way, you've also got the Norris Nuts who are also written about in that article, and it talks about how the most popular video posted on the Norris Nuts, 34 million views, has a very similar theme. Letting our kids turn 21 years old. Gone wrong. And if you click on that video, 4 minutes into it, you'll see this.
But legends, my goal for today is to try and make myself look as old as possible. Like, I'm 14 and I look like I'm 8. Like, I've got no boobs. You can't get plastic surgeries when you're 14.
It's not blurred in the video. I just feel so uncomfortable not blurring it, but she pans the camera down. She's 14 years old talking about, I look like 8 because I don't have any boobs. Well, let me show you. And the parents were like, oh, yeah, this is exactly what we were hoping for when we had this premise. By the way, them off camera, no accusations, but if you're a 14-year-old kid, you think they're not kind of producing this video? You think the parents aren't involved in what she's saying? They're involved in the edit and approval process. The sexualization and like the romance and like objectification, like pushing onto children in family vlogging. That's why I wanted to talk about it first, because it's like unbelievable how widespread it is. The fact that there is a genre of turning your little kids into adults and then having stuff like that, situations like that. Oh, pregnant, oh my boob. Like, that is a entire genre in family vlogging, and a highly, highly, highly successful genre where it's gonna be your most popular videos. These motherfuckers are incentivized to do awful things to exploit their children in the most predatory ways possible. And there are so many families who are seeing that trade-off and going, yeah, I'm gonna do it. If it's gonna give me money, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. You think I'm not gonna take money? You think I'm gonna pick my kid's life over money? No! That's why I had it in the first place. It's all about me. I mean, there's there's so much online that this could be a million things, but we have to move on to the second part of this entire topic, which is the incentivization of pain. But real quick, I wanna take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, DoorDash. True story, just the other night I was celebrating my birthday, but I was with all my friends and we were going back home to my apartment, but everybody was hungry and I realized I didn't have any food. So guess what I did? I popped open my DoorDash and it came to the rescue and we had a wonderful night. It is the most freeing feeling just being able to order like an actually delicious meal straight to your door. It's still like shocking to me that that's even possible. So it's often that I literally just pop open DoorDash, film a video, and then go to my door and then eat the meal as soon as I'm done. It has saved me more times than I can even number. Being able to continue enjoying those moments with my friends, with my family, never missing a second when I'm watching a Chiefs game, because football season's coming up and oh my God, I'm gonna be using DoorDash. And if you haven't tried it yet, now is the perfect time. Download the DoorDash app and use my promo code to get 50% off your first order of $15 or more, up to $10 off. My promo code is FilmCooper50. You can click the link in my description, you can scan this QR code. Remember, DoorDash is your door to more. Thank you so much to DoorDash for sponsoring this video. Now, back to the other stuff. Speaking of research, I think for this next section, I wanna start by talking about something that I read from the National Library of Medicine. It was a study titled Algorithmic Content Recommendations on a Video Sharing Platform Used by Children. Because this relates to everything that we're talking about in this video, but really specifically, it's kind of the foundation for the argument I'm gonna be making in this point. So it says, this cross-sectional study examines how video sharing platforms use attention-grabbing designs and video thumbnails to encourage engagement among children, and whether recommendations offer more problematic content over time. This is looking at it from like an audience consumption perspective, specifically children, and how their recommendations were influenced. And to be fair, like a lot of the viewers of these channels are children. It's like children, predators, people who are mentally maybe in the Neolithic period. But not to get too in the weeds, I just want to show the question, the findings, and the meaning. The question of this study was what content is likely to be recommended to children on popular video sharing platforms. The findings were, in this cross-sectional study of 2,880 video thumbnails from a popular video sharing platform, searching with 12 search terms popular with children yielded recommended video thumbnails that contained a high prevalence of attention-engaging and problematic content such as violence or frightening images. Meaning these findings suggest that video sharing platforms may recommend problematic videos to children when they search for popular content. Now, these things are being shown because the more extreme, the more shocking, the more violent, the more attention engaging in those ways a thumbnail and like a title are, the more likely it is to be like, oh my God, I gotta see what's going on here, which incentivizes the filming and the recording and like showing of dangerous situations, but specifically like traumatic injuries and health. That's like personal health, medical health content relating to the children, which by the way, you can literally go to any family vlogging channel, sort by popular, and it doesn't take you long to find a thumbnail and a title that fits into this category. For instance, Norris Nuts, we were just talking about this one. We found her with maculopapular rash. Shocking! With a sad girl, a little child with a rash sitting like this. Bro, why are you as a parent here like, okay, pose for the thumbnail, okay, yeah, turn up the saturation on that rash, make it look even worse. And let's look at the content. I just found this like in filming. I haven't even prepared for this. But if my theory is correct, we'll see it in the first 5 seconds of this video.
I'm so puffed out. I'm freaking out. I can't go in there. I just have to wait till I calm down before I go in there again. Anyway.
Thank you so much for performing that for us. Thank you so much for whipping out your vlog camera and saying, I'm so worried. Oh my God, my kid's gonna, oh my God. You suck. It's so fake, it's so inauthentic, it's so performative, and it's so disgusting. Especially because look at this poor, sick little girl.
Hey, Nazi.
Bro, don't wake her up for the vlog right now. Her POV right here, opening her eyes, right here.
Hey, Nazi.
She looks up and says, hey mom, but you know who she's saying hey mom to? This is her POV right now. Oh yeah. Turn up that saturation. Let's see how red and uncomfortable that rash is. You know how messed up it is to get to the point where your daughter looks up, sees a camera lens in her face when she's going through like a traumatic experience and she goes, hey mom, because it's not out of the ordinary at all. Literally like, okay, point proven so hard. Even literally over here, this one over here, can Peyton recover from surgery? Oh great, and there's Jordan Matter down there. My daughter, ages 1 to 50, her holding a baby on the right. Oh my God. That's not the point though. Okay, actually I want to see real quick if Jordan Matter's done this because there's no way that there's a way to exploit your child and he's not doing it. Oh my God. It's literally right there. I'm sorry for yelling. I'm getting really intense on this one. My best friend's accident, 57 million views. My daughter's accident. Oh my God. This guy is the devil. Let's check out the beginning of that video together too.
Yesterday, my daughter Salish got 2 black eyes. In this video,
bro, by the way, this is a frame from the video, but literally his reaction to seeing that his daughter has 2 black eyes. Hey, a little bit of cash right here, no? Oh my God, Salish has 2 black eyes. That sounds like $50,000. Okay, but back to the people that I already have like prepared to talk about in this video. There is a family vlogging channel called This Is How We Bing 'Em. I think they're one of them, one of the Mormons. But the amount of like medical injury, pain on children content that they have on their channel is mind-boggling. I will literally just look up Bing 'Em injury and see what happens. Both bones broken. 7-year-old breaks both bones in her right arm on the first day of summer break. Both arm bones. Then this is great. A playlist of dad's broken leg. If I did break a leg and I was a vlogger, that would be my thumbnail. And you know what? It's fine if you're the dad. Kid breaks collarbone at elementary school activity. Toddler breaks arm in 2 places at Legoland on vacation. Both arm bones broken. By the way, those are not from the same video. That second one was from 7 years ago. The first one was from 2 years ago. Dad taken to the emergency room after crashing into 5-year-old daughter. Kid passes out while making Thanksgiving dinner. Intense faint caught on camera. Terrifying tumble. The thumbnail saying passed out with a big pointed arrow pointing at your passed out child on the floor. You are insane. These are all like unrelated situations. How is there this much injury and broken bone content on your channel? No accusations, but what? This one 10 months ago. Not what we meant by fall break. I haven't read that one before. Are you out of your mind? Not what we meant by fall break. Broken arm. Both bones broken at wrist. Broken bone accident. Do you think they get more views the more bones are broken? That's why they have to clarify. Both bones broken. Trust me, you're gonna want to see this one. It's not just one bone, it's both. If you think I'm done, I am not. Showered with love the day after breaking both arm bones in her right arm. Broken arm recovery. Strep test gone horribly wrong. Not faking sick. Worst fear realized. Thumbnail, worst day ever. You are a psychopath if you were doing this with your kids. Starting summer sick again? Getting pneumonia on the last day of school? The fact that it's not just 3 videos, but it's all of the content on their channel, presumably. The fact that I could keep going, and I will. Kid with healing broken collarbone visits doctor before starting parkour. Finding out if our daughter needs surgery on her arm broken in 2 places. Getting cast put it on. Or this one, and you know they were just begging for views on this, but it wasn't good enough. They went, devastating injury. By the way, you can already see the description of that video. In the Bingham family, we are no strangers to broken bones and serious injury. Yeah, maybe you should change your lifestyle if half of the content on your channel is just your kids getting injured and being at the hospital. Now, the thing is, okay, why am I talking about this? By the way, I could keep going. Eye sewn shut after surgery, crazy stitches. 5-year-old undergoes painful skin removal procedure. There's so much. The thing I want to talk about here is specifically like the parent-child relationship, and again, how this affects the children. Now, something that I found in the Emory Law Journal is this piece titled Sharenting, Children's Privacy in the Age of Social Media. Now, I'll just go ahead and read the abstract for this because it's a really good summary of it. Through sharenting, parents now shape their children's identity long before these young children open their first email. The disclosures parents make online are sure to follow their children into adulthood. This article is the first to offer an in-depth legal analysis of the conflict inherent between a parent's right to share online and a child's interest in privacy. It considers whether children have a legal or moral right to control their own digital footprint and discusses the unique and novel conflict at the heart of parental sharing in the digital age. The conclusion that this legal article comes to is that laws that are currently in place that relate to this, like COPPA, FERPA, and HIPAA, basically they offer some protections, but they're actually more empowering to the parents than they are to the children. They're more defining like the parental unit over like information disclosure. But the solution that the article's writer comes to is basically, in my opinion, it's just like, there is no solution, because the solution that they came to was more of like a public health based approach, which is about like teaching parents about like the effects of these things are, having like Google alerts set up for the children's name, giving children the veto power over it. But for me, when talking about family vlogging, I just think that the incentive is way more powerful than any reality of the risks are when being shared to these parents. Like, I think that Jordan Matter at this point, I assume that he has heard a lot of the chatter about what he's doing online and he just does not give a fuck. It's like specifically with the Binghams, it's so much about injury related stuff, and I can tell that they know that their injury stuff gets a lot of views, because if they didn't see that practice, then they wouldn't do like a 7-part series when somebody breaks their wrist with every single title and every single thumbnail really emphasizing and pushing that aspect of it. They would be like doing other stuff and the kid would have a cast on in the background, but because it's so good for them, views and money and fame wise, they are willing to do it at the cost of their child's well-being. Like, these are serious injuries. And from the National Child Traumatic Stress Network, the NCTSN, an organization that's actually putting definitions to words, they define medical trauma. They say pediatric medical trauma stress refers to a set of psychological and physiological responses of children and their families to pain, injury, serious illness, medical procedures, and invasive or frightening treatment experiences. Medical trauma may occur as a response to a single or multiple medical events. There is so much intense injury going on. There's fainting. Everything is extremely sensationalized. If you look at any of these videos, you can tell that this is like traumatic stuff. Like, I want to blur her face so you can't see it, but this is a little girl and she's sitting there sobbing. She's sobbing and the mom is like knowing she's on camera. I've talked about this before with like people performing romance for the camera. I might make a deeper dive on that, but it's the performance of motherhood when the camera is on you and you know you're gonna release it to your YouTube channel. It's the performance. And also the just forcing the child to also be performing on camera in that moment. And it's just so messed up to be going through that, like crying in intense pain, both bones in her right arm broken, both arm bones. I love how they title it. And in that situation, instead of actually genuinely being cared for by the dad, like you can see in that shot, like he's like, oh, follow. He's caring about the shot and the capturing of her pain rather than comforting her from the pain. And then when he does walk up, he comes over, he makes sure to hand the camera to somebody else so that they can, he's like, oh yeah. Do you not realize that the camera's right there? Obviously you do, but do you not think that we know that and that doesn't put a whole new context on what you're doing? I don't understand how people can see this stuff and not view it through this perspective. It does not make sense to me how you can see a situation like this and think that the situation is just unfolding. This situation is being performed. They're masking like for the camera in a way that they want you to be seeing them. I don't get how people don't see that. She's sobbing, she's crying, she's looking at him, and he is loving her for the camera. I'm sure that if the camera was off, he'd be loving her, but you know what? If the camera was off, I bet she would actually be able to internalize that and feel a little bit better about that, because it wouldn't be for anybody. Actually, it would be for her in that moment of medical trauma. Like right here, they got tubes in her nose. They got an IV in her. They putting her in a cast right now. Are you kidding me? Why are you showing me this? Put the camera down and be there for her. Oh my God, and the recommended of this one, the channel Our Life in Holland, the Bingham family. 11-year-old breaks arm at friend's house. What is wrong with you guys? You have brittle bones. He needs some milk. Like, y'all need to drink some serious whole milk. I don't know if it's like a Mormon thing. Look at this. This is from when he broke his arm in Holland. Look at how they film their videos in moments like this.
Yeah, I kind of think I can see that. Maybe what you do is have everybody sign it the last day, right before they cut it off. Your soccer team's gonna be sad.
Hopefully there's no BPL soon. It's not for a long time.
It's true. It's actually the very best time that someone could be out for soccer.
Right.
Her son's sitting right there, broken arm, intense pain. She's sitting there going, yeah, your soccer team is going to be really upset because you're such a good boy and I love you so much. And everything that you go through, just know that like mommy's here and like mommy loves you. Really bad. What the fuck are you talking about? But like, let's talk specifically about what's going on here. Now, this is an article written for Developmental Review, talking specifically about psychological control that parents exert over their kids, because I do find it relevant in this situation. It's kind of specifically talking about how parents use intentionally or unintentionally guilt, shame, love, withdrawal, anxiety to manipulate a child's feelings or thoughts. And it doesn't even have to be intentional. And that is something that comes up like in like performing for views. They're not going to the hospital, they're going to a hospital and filming an episode for a TV show about going to the hospital. And this article reframes like that psychological control as like, it's like a form of internally pressuring these kids with parenting that undermines the children's functioning and again, long-term like well-being. But I find it specifically interesting as it relates to these two other research like study like articles that were written. This one is a meta-analytic review of experiments examining the effects of extrinsic rewards on intrinsic motivation. What the hell does that mean? Extrinsic rewards could be money, fame, or for kids, attention from their parents. They tend to undermine the intrinsic motivation like, I love my kid, I care about my kid, I want my kid to be okay. Or even for the kid in a situation where they're like in extreme pain and their dad's filming them. It's like, well, I want to make dad happy. I gotta make sure that I'm doing this right. That being even a thing that they're thinking about rather than just like trying to cope with the pain of what they're actually going through. And especially because this injury content is like well performing. So the parents are excited about the videos. They're motivated to film anything injury related. And what it does in this family vlogging like injury pain situation is it conditions the child to see their pain and their like deeply personal and traumatic like selves, but specifically like medical, but really at the core of it, it's like their self in pain is a very valuable commodity that gets their parents excited and is a vehicle for earning parental approval and like external reward. So the natural intrinsic like response and motivation in that moment of like, I want to rest, I want to like just internalize this, I want to deal with this, I want to like self-express, I want to seek comfort. If it doesn't line up with what makes mom and dad happy when I break my arm, it's gonna be undermined by that and like replaced with performance for the camera, but in other ways performance for the camera for their parents' approval. So the effect that it has on the children is that the child learns that their worth and their deep self in pain is remedied by external rewards, and that their true authentic self is like, no, put on the performance. That's what makes us happy. The reason it happens at all though, this is actually like an interesting correlation, but there's an article written specifically about sports as it relates to a parent-child relationship that I found like very symmetrical. This is from the Clinics in Sports Medicine Journal, and the title of this one is Achievement by Proxy Distortion in Sports, a distorted mentoring of high-achieving youth, historical perspectives and clinical intervention with children, adolescents, and their families. And what is happening in this article is they're investigating the parents who are living through their kids. Everybody has like an experience. Maybe your parents are like this, but even if they're not, you definitely know somebody who's like on a soccer team and their parents are like really living through that kid and like getting a lot of self-worth out of how their kid performs. Therefore, they need their kid to perform for their own self-worth. Therefore, they yell at their kid if they miss a block and they're a goalie. But they kind of define like achievement by proxy distortion as a thing. ABPD, achievement by proxy distortion. But the like crucial idea in this article really relates to family vlogging, because that occurs when parents exploit their children's talent or like experiences to gratify their own needs for success, attention, fame, validation. And the article contends that at its extreme, this results in abuse. And I think a lot of what we've been seeing from these family vlogs is going out there like getting tens of millions of views, but it is genuinely, even just like on a surface level, undiagnosed abuse. undiagnosed, like uncalled out abuse. And of course, this relates to everything, but specifically for like the pain stuff. But also, I mean, I gotta like this stuff as it relates to the sexualization things also, it's like very dark consequences of like, daddy likes it when I pose like this. Daddy likes it when I do this. Daddy likes it when I flirt with Nidal. Daddy likes to say no, but daddy like behind the scenes is like, hey, recreate this photo with Nidal. And then take this pose where he's like dipping you and it's like, crush? But with the Binghams, it's so interesting because the child's pain is what they are like absorbing as that validation from, you know, achievement by proxy distortion. And it's hard to think that the boundary between like supporting your child and exploiting them doesn't just fully collapse in this situation. Like you can't be supporting your child while you are exploiting them. And when your child's well-being is worse off by you filming it, but you get more money from it and you make the decision, you know what, even though it would be better for my child to just put this down and genuinely like engage with them and not have this feeling of like performance and like disconnect. No, I don't want to sacrifice the money that I would get by sacrificing that. And in these articles, like the conclusion that I'm coming to from all three of these things put together is that this results in a fucked up internal for those kids. Like everything that we're seeing, like these kids in these family vlogs, it's like there might be some people who see this stuff and they're just like, well, you know, it's nice to feel like I'm a part of a family and get a closer look on the inside. But when you are realizing what's happening to the kids in those, there's not a way to watch it that can actually be morally okay. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're watching child broken bone content and the kid is being like filmed like this, but you're seeing it really up close, so you're in the situation, but the kid is seeing this, it's such like a fucked up thing to support. Because these articles are, you know, coming basically to the conclusion that this and the other stuff from the other section is at its most extreme abuse. And we are looking at some of the most extreme examples. But to be honest, I say extreme, but people are going extreme a lot. Like there are a lot of examples of this stuff. I accidentally found 3 other channels with it. Yeah, wait, I want to show you this one. This is one that I found from the Binghams. Getting 8 cavities filled in one day. Crazy day at the dentist. Laughing gas. I'm looking at that thumbnail. I'm not gonna blur it because you can't see her face because it's covered by that. What are you thinking, Binghams? It's like a Mr. Beast title. 8 cavities filled in one day. My little 6-year-old girl put on laughing gas. Wanna watch? I actually really don't.
Got her back here. She's already had her medicine that makes her sleepy. She woke up a little bit to get situated in this room. We have a nice blankie for her.
Why are they showing us this? Why is the little girl in this situation, her experience is not, oh, I have the support of my mom in the room. It's like, oh, no, my mom is in the room, but this is my mom. Plankton somewhere like, damn, she's kind of thick, Karen. Or what about this one? This is from The Hero Family. This was uploaded 7 days ago. She had a complete panic attack at the dentist office. Okay, and you filmed it and posted it. Why?
Oh, your face is on now, huh? Oh. You can have ice cream. Want to get some ice cream? What kind of ice cream? I don't know if they have that flavor. Chocolate?
Oh, dude, that's hilarious. Your daughter is freaking out. Like, that's horrifying to see. Like, by the way, every time she looks at the camera, think about how she's disengaged with her parent in that moment and realizing she's being recorded. Even though she's like, I think probably on medicine right then. She's going, I don't think they have that flavor of ice cream. Dude, you can go to hell. You should. If you don't want to, you will. This is what I'm saying though. This is from an account, The Hero Family, with only 13,000 subscribers. He sees the potential and how powerful this is as like a title and thumbnail. He's like, oh my God, the click-through rate on this video is gonna be insane. Oh my God, it's gonna premiere to 1 out of 10. Oh my God. What am I gonna title this? She had a complete panic attack at the dentist. Yes, perfect. Him the whole time. Yes, perfect. It's having the effect that those articles have talked about. Like, it's just ruining her life. It's ruining her relationship with her dad. She's not having a childhood. She's having a performance of a childhood. And all of the most intimate and excruciating and painful and intense moments are being put through the fucking camera lens because those are the instances that get the most views. Oh, first kiss. Oh, first period. Oh, broke my bone. Those are gonna get the clicks. No, I don't need to process it with my kids. Those are the things that get me views. And that's why I'm gonna need you to go jump off that skate rail. Do it. Daddy's gonna put a GoPro on. Go out there and don't be afraid to brace yourself for the impact. And make sure it's both bones. You know those get 30% more clicks. Bro, over here, we rushed Avery to the hospital. Or Bingham, always at the scene of the crime. Scary head injury, school called after she hit her head. Dentist checkup doesn't end well for one of the girls. Another foot broken? Did Raquel have a sprain or break? Emergency surgery, parents out of town. Emotional. All of these are from different channels. Trip to the ER. What is wrong? Phillips Fam Bam. What happened at school? Getting an x-ray vlog. We rushed to the ER. Our son's condition took a scary turn. Thumbnail, very sick child. That past section and this section is what family vlogging is. You want a hit, boy? You want to get some views, boy? You're gonna have to break that bone, boy. And the younger you are and the worse the injury is, the happier daddy's gonna be. You ready to make daddy proud, boy? Get up on that skate rail and jump. Oh, wait. None of these videos have been blurred. None of the kids' faces have been blurred in any of these. Can we say shout out to Adrian for blurring all the faces? He's editing this video. The amount of work that he has to do right now, it's just unbelievable the amount of exploitation that's going on online. There's so much. It's just almost unbelievable how much exploitation there is in the family vlogging industry. This isn't even the final section. We got one more segment. Actually, more than one. This next section is like, it's very conflicting. It's very interesting. The dichotomy is insane. No, like, because what I'm talking about here is pity fishing and hardship monetization. The subject of this section you might remember from a video I made a while ago about the resilient Jenkins. Because this isn't about like shaming people who are poor or struggling in any way. I don't know if you remember, but basically the resilient Jenkins situation is that they lived in a very small house. There was 7 kids. They were like sleeping on the floor in the living room that was like right next to the kitchen. They had like access to like chemicals. Like it was like a dangerous setup. And it looked like the kids are like very clearly struggling. And you know what? The family is struggling. And another aspect of it was she was pregnant at the time. Specifically, like you'll see in those videos, she's doing a lot of work. Like she's doing a lot of stuff. And her husband, Drew, instead of helping, is constantly just seen in headphones and playing in his own separate room on his PS5 with his TV with like light setup. Look at like a lighting setup and everything. Meanwhile, his kids are over there sleeping on the ground. He's got this bed, he's got a big TV, he's got a PS5. Bro, okay, I already made the video about it, but he should be on the floor and his kids should be on the bed. His name's Drew and there's so many clips of him like saying he doesn't want to do a W-2 job because they won't pay like $30 an hour. They won't even pay that much. So I'd rather just honestly sit home and game. Or this screenshot, which was my favorite. Every day my hubby gets up at 5:30 a.m. to start his morning. He spends every waking hour calculating and making moves to better our family's life. Well, what have I told you? Since posting that video, there's been some more issues. And they really tie in with what we're talking about today. By the way, there are also accusations that he hasn't been paying child support for another baby. By the way, that's related to the W-2 job thing because it came out that he was like technically paying child support via wage garnishment, which is court ordered, taking it out of your paychecks, which is specifically why he didn't want a W-2 job because that would mean his child would have to be supported. Great guy. But since making that video, they were evicted. This is a screen grab of the eviction. They were evicted February 19th, and then more drama arrived. After being evicted, they posted this video, and people really specifically started being like, this feels like it's going too far.
So it's officially been a week homeless as a family of 7, and so far we're navigating it pretty well, I'd like to say. Okay, hold up. I just played that back, and that sounds way better than when I was trying to do it in the bathroom with everybody in the hotel room. That was not working. Okay, let's get back to it. Like I said, we've been navigating it pretty well. We've just been keeping to our pretty normal routine. I mean, it is currently spring break, and that's definitely added some chaos to it, but it is what it is. I actually enjoy having my babies with me.
Family of 7 living in a hotel, cooking everything in the bathroom, somehow stacking the kids to fit in an even smaller space than there were in before. And when I see this, I am so unbelievably disappointed because I had hoped somehow deep in my heart that when there was that huge event where like I made a video about it, a lot of people were talking about it. I thought that a situation like that might cause some self-reflection and they might like lock in. And it's doubly shocking because if you look at their profile, they're getting a lot of views. It's like 1 million views, 800,000 views, like they're averaging about 800,000 views on every single video. And all of their videos are above a minute long. So they are in all likelihood monetized. And if they're not, no, but they are. And yet nothing is changing. And also it doesn't look like Drew is trying at all. And it's confusing to me because it doesn't feel like it has to be happening. Like if Ash Trevino is making enough money to be going out and buying bags, if Ash Trevino is making enough money from these views and the potential that she has on lives from like all of the haters that she has plenty of potential to be making like plenty of money from this. There's TikTokers decked out in chrome hearts off of just these views alone. But it feels like this is the content. The hardship is the content. The struggle and the poverty is the content. And it's worse than that because the reason that people care so much about this is not because it's a couple who's living in these situations. It's because they're a couple with all of these kids who are in these situations. And it feels like there are plenty of paths out, especially after how much time there's been. And yet it seems to just keep getting worse in a way that makes no sense. Putting these kids in a position that they ostensibly, I've said that twice now, don't actually need to be in so that you can maintain the pity and the sympathy. You know, I'm not saying Munchausen syndrome, because everybody throws that word around. Gypsy Rose was the first time I heard Munchausen syndrome. Then I started hearing about that Unknown Catfish documentary. Crazy, by the way. What the fuck was that mom on? But it is that vibe of like, this content is showing these kids in a very dark, sad situation. But when you see the numbers that she's getting views-wise, I know that there is potential to monetize that. I know for a fact that there is a lot of potential to get a lot of money from that. But if that were to happen, would people stop watching? Are they getting money? I know there's like people like donating to them sometimes and they're like asking for money, but like, is there an incentive to not get out of this situation? Otherwise the attention will go away. I mean, there is. There objectively is that incentive. And I do know that she could be monetizing in a way. And I know that Drew could be making money just in a regular way, like, but then he'd have to pay his child support. And that's too much. I'd rather get evicted and put my 5 kids in a hotel room stacked on top of each other than pay my goddamn child support. Also literally him, let me hop on Marvel Rivals. Yep, I'm gonna be Sue Storm, for sure. And now is when I bring up this research paper published by Sage Journals, titled Poverty Porn and Perceptions of Agency, an Experimental Assessment. This is not directly related to family vlogging. It's actually related to like photographing, filming, like sensationalizing images of people in developing countries. You know the ones, like, yeah, poverty porn. And this research is specifically to get like an empirical assessment of the effects of exposure on these negative messages on the perceptions of people living in poverty in developing countries. There's another one, by the way, in the International Journal of Cultural Studies that's more specifically about this. But with what those two are talking about, put through the lens of this one, which was written for the National Library of Medicine, adolescent sad fishing on social media, anxiety, depression, attention seeking, and lack of perceived social support as potential contributors. What is going on in the minds of the Resilient Jenkins kids? Like the effects that this is having on them psychologically, being shown in this light, especially in a way that I just question if it needs to be happening. As they grow up, it's just all of their hardships are being packaged as episodes and vehicles for attention and pity and support. And in that last article I talked about, it talks about how this leads to anxiety, depression, increase in attention seeking, and like a lower perceived social support because of how much the gaze of the world is like negatively on them. And also the fact that, I mean, she's a TikToker, so she's doing this stuff constantly uploading it every single day. She's filming it, talking about it, posting it, and they're all in one big room together, so the kids are seeing all this, and it's damaging to their self-image and their dignity, and really it's shaping their identity into being one of like performative hardship. I'm not saying that they're not going through hardship, but it's hardship that is also being filmed and broadcast. And as they grow up and as they get older, because obviously like right now they're very young, but imagine being like 14 and this is all online and you have like no say over it at all. And everybody who you meet can see like everything about like what you've gone through. It's just not viewing the kids as like having any agency of their own and viewing them as a pawn in the game of suffering on camera. I feel weird saying this because it's like clearly their life is like very difficult and very hard, and I feel awful for her because her husband's like he sucks. He's a piece of crap. I'm sorry, he is. So it's like I feel a lot of empathy for her and I feel very bad for her, but on the other hand, I really question what the fuck is going on because they're getting a lot of views and they're posting a lot of content. And again, Ash Trevino makes a bunch of money. I find it very hard to believe that she either isn't making a lot of money or can't make a lot of money. Most of her videos are over a minute long, which is like the barrier that you need for like really good monetization on TikTok, and you could be doing it on YouTube Shorts. You just could be taking very easy steps to making a lot of money to get your kids out of this situation when you have this many eyeballs on you. And this happens in other situations too. It's not just the Resilient Jenkins, although they are the biggest example of this specific type of it. Although I just find this one thing very interesting and I do really want to share it. It's this video that got like, I mean, it didn't get leaked. It was included in the edit. It was forgot to be edited out because this is like emotional distress. This is emotional distress, but you can see the incentivization that these parents have with their kids, and I just have to show this. This is in a video where this family has like a new puppy, and it got like something called parvo, which is like a really like high mortality rate, and she's in the car with her kid crying, and this happens.
Come here, come closer for the video. Come closer. Come closer. Come closer. Put your head right here. Come closer. Closer down. Put your head down here. Act like you're crying, really quick.
I am crying.
Go like this.
No, Mom, I'm actually seriously crying.
No, I know, but go like this for the video. Go like this. Put one hand up. Go like this. No, go like this. Put your hand like this. But let them see your mouth. Let them see your mouth.
No, Mom, I'm actually crying.
Look at me. Look at me.
She does not give a fuck about her kid. I mean, I can't even imagine doing something like that. The kid is literally like, Mom, no, seriously, I'm crying. Mom, it's not for the video. No, I'm crying. Mom, I'm actually crying. Her the whole time. No, come on, do it for the video. No, cry more. No, for the thumbnail. No, do it. Cry. No, do it. It's the type of shit that's going on behind the scene. I mean, you think this stuff isn't happening on like every single family channel? Like, how do you get the thumbnails of your kid crying? You gotta tell them cry. Oh, cry a little harder, boy. Your little puppy dying. Cry a little harder now. No, go ahead and do it. No, come on. No, I know. Whole time looking at the camera. I mean, is this like, this is abuse, isn't it? We were talking about like the definition of what like is abuse. Like, this is so like harmful to your kid. And it's the type of thing where it makes me question what's going on with the Resilient Jenkins. It makes me question anything that is like a family vlog that's successful, that is going through a lot of like poverty. It feels like those two things cannot coexist because we see how much money is in family vlogging. We see how much money there is. But also, yeah, it's the emotional hardship, and that stuff is being exploited by the parents. It's so predatory. It's like unbelievably predatory, and it's like objectively predatory. That mom is not a mom in that moment. That mom is a producer for a TV show, and she's screaming at the child, hey, cry the right way. We need the clicks, boy. I don't care if your puppy's gonna die. Show it on your face like you mean it. They got CPS to come after that video came out because holy shit, she should not be a mom. But that actually relates to the next point that I want to talk about. The final point of this is a big old video. And that is the manipulation in family vlogging and the real world consequences. We haven't talked about the LeBrant family yet. I can't believe we haven't talked about them. But it's time. This is so fun. She got diagnosed with cancer. Documentary. He is clickbaiting one of his daughters having cancer. That's how bad he wanted the views. Clickbaiting his daughter having cancer. But like 10 minutes into the video, you find out, no, it's actually not his daughter who has cancer. They just talk about other kids dealing with childhood cancer. It's just about kids with cancer, but they're clickbaiting their own children having cancer for views. This couple, specifically Cole LeBrant, but this couple, the LeBrant, they're so cursed. They're so haunted. He's the most punchable person. Okay, respectfully, you shouldn't hit anybody. But this dude, I really don't like him. I really don't like him. This bright ass fucking Mormon ass looking lighting. Y'all look like siblings. Him sitting there, yeah. Cancer, I didn't know about cancer, yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on. Acting like you are anything other than a fucking freak who's clickbaiting your own daughter's having cancer. You suck. He could have titled the video, Childhood Cancer is a Very Serious Thing. A deep dive. But instead he titled it, She Got Diagnosed with Cancer. With him with like some like bald girls and him like with a hand. We don't know who those girls are. Obviously, when you're titling something like that, we're thinking, in a world where the Binghams are uploading videos just with injury after injury after injury to their kids. Everybody's thinking that it's your kid and you take fucking forever to even get to the point and say that that's not the case. You're crafting your video and your packaging and your title and thumbnail off the premise of, it's gonna get more clicks if they think that my daughter has cancer. What is wrong with you? I feel so bad for their kids that these are their parents. They also infamously made Abortion, Period, documentary. In the video, this graphic shows up. Rwandan genocide, 800,000. Cambodian genocide, 3 million. Holocaust, 11 million. Abortion in the US, 61,991,000. So framing being pro-choice as worse than the Holocaust. Just an unbelievably insane type of thing to be saying. What the fuck is your point? They genuinely think that that is like comparable. That's how they're opening their video, a minute 30 into the video, and that's what they're saying. I am well aware, I grew up in the Midwest, I grew up in Kansas. I am well aware that abortion is a scary and like emotionally complex topic. But acting like it's worse than those genocides and like the Holocaust is like, it's beyond grotesque. First of all, it erases what abortion actually is. As I'm sorry, I know it's a complex topic and it's emotionally like very charged, but it is a necessary right for women to have bodily autonomy for a multitude of reasons, which this video isn't about. But I gotta say, women having reproductive freedom and the right to exercise bodily autonomy, like you cannot make a comparison in those things at all. Even if it rubs you the wrong way that that's my perspective and you are pro-life, you have to like admit that is a very different situation than the industrialized murder of 6 million Jews alongside the Romani people and disabled people and the many other victims of it. In making that graphic are like an idiot and so emotionally out of touch with what you were saying and the effect that it's having on people. Like, oh my God. But this feeds specifically into what is going on like in the family vlogging, is because family vlogging is specifically most powerful at its most emotionally impactful, at its most intense in whatever way that is. There's a book by Stanley Cohen called Folk Devils and Moral Panics. And in it, a very powerful point is made that relates specifically to this, which is that when you are dramatizing and exaggerating and in the most intentional way, like causing a moral panic, using shocking language and like stark, shocking imagery, i.e. the LeBrants relating the Holocaust to abortion, it's designed to cause that moral panic because it's the most extreme thing, so it gets the most interest, it gets the most attention. But it can only exist in a world where there is no middle ground. Moral panic creates like the folk devil, which in this instance is like the folk devil is like abortion, or you know what it really means, pro-choice, and the right that was given to women and then stripped away from the Supreme Court. That being positioned as the folk devil in this moral panic, and using that level of language, that level of imagery to draw such a moral panic surrounding that topic, that in its essence leaves no middle ground. There is no nuance. There is no, well, let's actually try to understand what's going on here. And the consequence of that is that it distracts from the actual underlying social issues there, and it stigmatizes vulnerable groups instead. In that book that I was talking about, there's a quote that I think is really powerful, because what they did was symbolization. And it says, through symbolization, plus the other types of exaggeration and distortion, images are made much sharper than reality. There is no reason to assume that photographs or television reports are any more objective. And I think that really sums up the LeBrants and all the controversy surrounding them. It's different than the other sections that we've talked about, because the harm that they're having is much more on the audience themselves. But in this section of manipulation and, you know, related to like sad fishing and pity fishing is Nika Diwa, which I've got to talk about her. I made a video about her and it has a lot of views because it's a really crazy situation. Because look at this one. I talked about it in that video, but was vlogging when I caught a moment of what overstimulation looks like. Or this one.
You are not stupid. You are actually quite smart. You do your best.
You are not stupid. I think that the reason that she does it is because she gets so much hate. People really, really don't like her. And I think that she might think if she portrays herself as somebody who's deserving of a lot of sympathy, that people will like her. So she does sad fishing. And you know what? Maybe she is sad. But when you're fishing for it, and it's coming from a place that feels manipulative, because why are you posting it if not to manipulate how we feel about you? When I look at the LeBrants, I think about the kids that are growing up in those households and the examples that are being set for them, especially that cancer one. I can't believe that he clickbaited that, because it's clickbaiting your daughter having cancer. And I just think like the household that you are in, where the most sensationalized, the most exaggerated, the most intense, the most extreme, the most manipulative thing to get people to feel a certain way about you is being done consistently, constantly, so that it gets the most money and the most attention. The example that that's setting for kids cannot be good. These kids live real lives in the real world. And if you want to see a little bit of a peek into what their real life, real world looks like, let's go back to the guy who started this whole conversation, Jordan Matter, because he had a pop-up event with his daughter, Salish. This happened really recently, and People magazine actually wrote an article about it. Teen influencer's makeup launch causes pure chaos at New Jersey Mall, as fans claim it was unsafe and poorly planned. I mean, that image right there, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. Do I trust Jordan Matter to handle this situation correctly? Do I trust him to be like a good dad at all in a situation like this? No! This is a video that, as you can see, was 5 a.m. in the parking garage for this event. Yeah, there's a comment on that video by Leslie Linden where she said, OMG, pure chaos. This was hands down the most poorly planned event I've ever been to. Parents pushing, people cutting lines, nasty attitudes everywhere, especially outside and in Sephora. It was like kindness went out the window the second the doors opened. Definitely a first and last pop-up experience for us, but even through the madness, I'm glad I got to make this memory with daughter. Yeah, and I don't want to be judgmental or single anybody out, but I really hope all the dudes who are there brought their daughters. I really hope that. Judging by the thumbnails and the type of content that he's posting, it's like there's little girls and kids who watch those videos, and there's creepy ass men. And then you're doing a pop-up event in the real world and people are like yelling at each other, pushing, cutting through lines. Videos like this being there from the event, this can't be good. And I just don't trust Jordan Matter to be handling this the correct way with his daughter. What ended up happening, and this is what Jordan said, state police took over. They shut down our stage show early and then would not allow either me or my daughter to go back out into the crowds for safety concerns. We were kept backstage and unable to see everybody as we had planned. His statement continued. It was truly upsetting because this was our first event and we were super excited to share in everybody's enthusiasm. We had planned to stay late at the mall if necessary to say hi to everybody, but instead we were removed from the mall by state police at 3 p.m. Like, imagine being a young girl going to a place like that and people are like losing their minds for you. The effect that that has on child stars is already so bad when it's like Drake and Josh or iCarly. But when the dad also is the producer and the dad is also making the content in a predatory, I'm sorry, it feels so predatory to look at the stuff that he's making of his daughter, and it's so creepy. The incentivization that she has to do what he wants in those videos is so high. The pressure is so high that, as we have seen, it is inescapably damaging his daughter. And it's inescapably damaging every single one of these family vloggers' kids. There's no way that they're growing up as good as they could, as if their parents would just set the camera down. When this is what you see in your most traumatic experience, like you're crying, screaming, and you see this, or you see this while the dad behind the camera saying, yeah, bend her over, kiss. Yeah, kiss, you 8-year-old boy. Kiss that 8-year-old girl. Come on, do it. And that's happening over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and it's extremely incentivized, and you're only getting attention when that's happening, and you're actually being told, no, cry right for the camera. Don't cry wrong for the camera, cry right for the camera. I'm not gonna come for you, I'm gonna film you. Trust me, that's what I want out of this situation. I wanna exploit those tears, boy. Everything that's going on in family vlogging, like what we're seeing, it's not just some bad thumbnails, some creepy video titles. It is a system across channels with through lines in the formats, although there's a lot of different types of formats for how you can exploit your kid. And these same patterns, they just keep repeating and they keep repeating, and they keep being damaging to the minors who are being exploited in them. They're minors being packaged into dating storylines. Their trauma filtered through a lens when they go to a hospital over and over and over again. Thank you, Binghams. Family hardship that it seems like there's an incentive to not leave it when it, you know, that one's so difficult because it really feels like they could get out of it and they're choosing not. It's what it really feels like. Like pity fishing, sad fishing, inducing moral panic, clickbaiting your daughter having cancer, and doing real world events that are genuinely very like upsetting to see, knowing who is actually like behind all of that. Jordan Matter is like, I can't believe that he exists. Actually, yes, I can, because there's an entire industry that is just incentivizing this, and he is the one person with the least amount of morals willing to just exploit his daughter in as many ways as he possibly can to keep getting that number bigger and bigger and bigger. It's creepy, but it's also commercial. Their childhoods are the product. And the parents are not the parents, they are the producers. And then in the production, they realize that the more predatory they are, the more views you get. It incentivizes predatory behavior of exploiting the children in a variety of different ways. And the research on this is so clear on the impacts that it has with the children. Overall, their well-being plummets in so many different ways. Their lives are actively worse because of this. Yes, they get more money. Yes, when their parents die, they'll have more money, and their parents are like giving them like a much nicer life, except for the Brazilian Jenkins. But it's at the cost of childhood and connection with the person who brought you into the world. They are willing to sacrifice that connection and actively damage their children's well-being and emotional stability. And platforms need to stop recommending this content where minors are being pushed into like romantic and, you know, awkwardly sexualizing positions. And I know it's difficult because where do you draw the line? Because it's like, okay, what's a gymnastics video and what's Jordan Matter doing the creepiest thing known to man? But I feel like there's gotta be people who are reporting these videos, and I feel like those reports need to be taken seriously and shit like that. I just don't feel like it can be monetized, because I don't feel like you should be incentivized to get money by exploiting your kids in those ways. I just really feel like that is not monetizable content or recommendable content in my mind. Same thing with the injuries. It's just like, I mean, it's a free world. If you want to exploit your kid, I guess you can. That's so fucked. There are guidelines, there are restrictions in the entertainment industry, but family vlogging is not the entertainment industry. It's outside of it, and it exists in this liminal space where laws are not really being applied applied in ways that like make sense. I don't think that what Jordan Matter is doing would be allowed on network TV. Like when Cuties came out, it was like, what the fuck? I don't know how big of a difference there is in what Jordan Matter is doing, honestly. Like if you're gonna be monetizing off your kid, I feel like there has to be some third party who has veto power over the stuff that you're making. I don't know what that would look like. I don't know what the system would be. But if I had to say what my perspective is after researching all of this, I think that there needs to be like some child featured content compliance act. I don't like, get me in the legislator, get me with MatPat. And I think that family vlogging channels need to be put into this system where if a key figure in a channel is a child, and that channel should have some much stricter monetization guidelines, especially as it relates to children. I mean, AI is out. AI is on the YouTube platform. It is like able to like do stuff. And I think that it needs to be detecting things like this in a way where you can like have some sort of like the Coogan's account that's in the entertainment industry where it's like, you know, portions of the money specifically go to an account that cannot be accessed until the kid turns 18 and it's for them. There should be something like that for these family vlogging channels for the kids who are the stars of these things because I think they deserve that. And I think that stricter monetization guidelines to the type of content and the stuff that's being shown need to be applied to those channels. And I think that these things that I've broken down, specifically like the pain, the medical stuff, and the sexualization and the romance stuff, I think that those like plot lines and those genres need to be demonetized and they should not be possible. And I think that like, I don't know, when a kid hits 13 years old, they should have some way where they can access every single video that their parents have uploaded with them in it. And they have the ability to like take it down and private it or delete it, or at least cut out every single thing that allows them. The kids have to have some sort of autonomy in this situation. Actually, forget the title for that system that I said earlier. If we can do this, since I came up with it, I think that we should call it the Weirdos Watchdog System, the WWS. I think something like that needs to be put in place. I honestly do, because if you're looking at this whole thing and you don't think that there's a problem, you're not watching the video. Like there is a serious problem going on here, and it's like not specific to the YouTube, it's just like internet. But I would love if a platform could come out and be the first one to do this. I would love it if YouTube would do it. I really think that it is possible. It's gonna take some work, but I think that it's really, really worth it. And just like seriously, thank you so much for watching this video. I love making more like deep dive, meaningful content like this. Go to my Coop channel, subscribe to that one as well, subscribe to this one. I love you so much, and really, like honestly, thank you for watching.
Call me Ross Geller, way I wear my pants leather. Pivot, pivot. Call me Ross Geller, way I wear my pants leather. Pivot, pivot. Call me Ross Geller, way I wear my pants leather. Pivot, pivot. Call me Ross Geller, way I wear my pants leather. Pivot, pivot. Call me Ross Geller, way I wear my pants leather. Okay, I'm exhausted, but I had a vision from above I had to share. Ah!